Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Today is October 21st and time is going fast. So October 21st, time is going fast. We have about 9 days before we kick off October and we head over to November and we start dealing with Thanksgiving and Christmas coming in. So time is fast. So I hopefully that by the time you watch this video, this moment, I hope you're doing great. I hope you're having a wonderful time. I hope that you are watching this video in October or any month that you are watching this video in. My hope is that as long as you're watching this video, it means you are still alive, it means you are breathing, it means you are just as important as I am, as important as everyone is. Today, as usual, it's a Tuesday and I just went to campus. I have been feeling very low energy. I don't have any motivations, and this is I think it has to do with the fact that I am not working. When you're not working, earning income, making money, it sort of like drains you. Like you don't have motivation. This is the reason why it differs different person to person, but for the most part, I perform better when I'm actually have something to do outside of my academia. So I have homeworks, I have midterms, I have those things, but I have done them, but not as much as I should, and I think I should be more productive. Like I should get these things done like in a few hours rather than like days. And I'm thinking now, like, should I work overnight? Of course, that's not a good thing, because if I work overnight, I'm gonna be tired the next day, and I will be tired in another day. Then I will have to sleep. So sleeping's better. Maybe I need to work on my sleeping schedule. Maybe I should need to sleep early, because normally I sleep at 12 and I wake up like 7:30 every single day. When you think about it, that's not even 8 hours sleep. That's like 5 to 6 hours of sleep. So maybe right now I should finish this video, upload them, get a meal, take a shower, and go to bed as soon as I can. No, don't watch the TV, don't watch nothing. So I think that's what I should do, because my brain works better. A lot of these things that are taking so long for me to get them done is because I should be able to finish these things in like a few hours. I should write a paper within 3 hours. I should finish a homework within 5 minutes. But of course that's not what's happening, so I need to sleep enough. Anyway, today's topic I want to talk about, okay, I am still on the poverty trap and why we are seeing poverty trap in poor nations. And today's topic, it's going to be about the institution. I wanted to make this video in my own car. I think that's when I have the ideas and do whatnot, but I'm gonna stick on this topic much longer than I should, because everything that I mentioned earlier, like my other videos, if you haven't watched them, please go back and watch them. Everything I mentioned in my other videos, I touched on things like nutrition, agriculture, human capital, how we can improve hospitals, how we can improve research, how we can improve education, how we can make people, have food. But all of these things, the infrastructure, all of these things are controlled by the institutions, right? When institutions are not doing what they're supposed to be doing, it becomes really, really hard. Like you cannot achieve anything. And an institution is something that is combined with other group of people. So, an institution can be, a university, it can be a government, it can be, a non-profit, it can be a company, it can be a religious religion, like churches, right? A mosque, if it's a Muslim, or any religion, Hinduism, whatever those religions are. It can be culture, but any form of institution is responsible to ensure that people are out of poverty, and they can do that by working together, working as a team, or dividing the responsibilities among the individuals. What we see in the Western world is when people divide the responsibilities among individuals. So in the Western world, like every single developed nation, there is a specialty. I touched on this a little bit when I mentioned how farmers can be given certificates to specialize in farming. In the Western world, we see people specialize in farming. People become doctors, people become nurses. But to achieve this, you need to empower people from the bottom level, right? Give them investments, give them tools, give them everything they need, but also give them the power to specialize in something, specific skills. So I think that institutions, as they can function as a corrective, like what we see in China, where you have a collective, a group of people working as a team and achieving something for the greater good for the society. And we see also in the United States where you have people who are very individualistic and they work and they all succeed, right? Even though poor people in America, they are poor, but they are not like poor compared to like somebody who lives in like Africa or some other countries. We have subsidies where you can have some money from the rich people, use that money to pay for the poor person. And despite all of the inequality that we have in the United States, we don't necessarily like ask for aid. We don't go to Europe and be like, give us aid to support our people. But poor nations are just poor, right? And it's when I talk about institutions, like it's very hard to define what an institution should be or how good it should be. It's also like sort of difficult to modify. Like in economics we use math, because I'm doing applied economics, which is like part of science. But how do you modify the scientific? How do you sanctify that? For instance, how do you quantify an institution? Like if I have to go to Uganda and pick a random district, let's say the district of Kasese, and my goal is to ensure that the district of Kasese has good farming, has good education, but I mentioned that they get out of poverty. How would I help the institution of Kasese to ensure that their own people are developing? That's the hardest part. Because the institutions have leaders, they have a representative, and that's the person who makes decisions on behalf of either a half of the people in that group, or a partial or a fully control. So like you have like an MP, member of parliament, making decisions for the whole people in Kasese. Kasese is like a region in Uganda, so probably like a district in Uganda. So that's like an example. But how do you ensure that the institution is actually like doing the good job? What if the people who are in charge of the institution are the people with the same mindset for the people who are poor? So you have poor people reading poor people. This is like blind reading blind, right? And even if you introduce new concept, the concept that I'm mentioning, the concept of improving the human capital, the concept of improving infrastructure, right? And you bring that concept and people don't adapt to it. So like the person who comes in as a leader, they want to change something, but the people in there, they just don't understand. They don't need a change, but they don't understand, right? So the institution, it needs to be like modified, understood, studied, to ensure that it serves the people that should be serving in a way that should be served. But But sometimes the institutions, they try their best. Sometimes they do what they're supposed to be doing, but the people themselves, they push back. So this is why I kept the institution is like but at the end, so that I can try to think the best way to make this video, because I want to come off as a critique of poor nations leadership. I think they have their own ways of leadership, and I think that they are doing what everyone does. You know, they have this sort of theories of democracy, or how things should be running, how things should be done. They have smart people, they have people love them, they have support, they have ideas, they are doing everything they're doing something, but we don't see the output, we don't see the outcome, we don't see anything coming out. It's not, this is not an exaggeration, right? Like, people in these poor nations should be able to at least converge. They should be able to at least get the things that people need, like humans need. And those things can be food, can be savings, can be technology, can be education, knowledge, innovation, building new things. All right, the high quality, there's definitely people building things in those countries, but they're not like high quality, right? And how can we do that? It's a something that I don't have an answer to, but I believe that there are some key elements that I will be talking about in the coming weeks, and I will focus on this topic for a long time. The economics of institutions. I'll be describing, like, from the leadership to budget allocations to checks and balances, ensuring that the people that they serve have the say on the table. There is no monopolistic, there is no political monopoly, right? We see political monopoly where the people who are supposed to be pulled out of poverty are the ones actually kind of pushing back, like they don't want to get involved. So you have one person making decisions, and those decisions don't really align with the people who are supposed to be getting help from. So there's this disconnection. But there's also, and this is another idea which I will touch on in the future. People, maybe they don't know, maybe people they don't know what they want. So like, if let's go back to Kasese, for example. Let's say people from Kasese wants a big university that will compete with Harvard, right? We assume that if we build a big university like Harvard in Kasese, people can eventually develop new medical device, they can develop new disease, they can do research, they can do a ton of things, right? But maybe people of Kasese, they just don't know. If a leader, from Kasese comes up and say, we got to build a university, people from Kasese may say, we don't know what that is, because they have no idea, because they lack the basic knowledge. They don't know the incentives. But what we do know for sure right now is that people actually do know what they want, and they don't know how to get it. And so in order to get what they want, they have to have some sort of an income. So that's the basic economic model. This is why people go to work, people eat, people have houses. It's those income level. And the purpose of this video is to show that those people can have a high income, maybe save some money, maybe invest, maybe build new things. But the institution is the key in ensuring that you can eliminate poverty in a community. Institutions play a big role in inequality. We'll talk about that in another video. But this was just an overview of how I went from nutrition, farming, healthcare, and then I went to infrastructure, education, basic education. But now I am in the main topic now, the main sort of an umbrella of all of this, which is an institution, a good quality institution versus a bad quality institution, or versus a hybrid institution. Uganda is an hybrid. So that's everybody knows. Most African countries are hybrid. So anyway, that's what I have for today. And if you find this video helpful, please give me a follow. Otherwise, I will see you in my next video. Ciao, ciao. Bye bye.